Hey guys, and welcome back to another video right here on TetraBitGaming. There are many memorable characters and enemies throughout the Super Mario series that we see time and time again. Characters like Luigi and Yoshi have basically become a staple for any Mario series game. On the flip side, there are also other characters that at one point had a pretty significant appearance, but outside of game remakes and maybe some small Easter eggs, they have basically been forgotten by Nintendo and consigned to oblivion. And to kick off the launch of Minus World, helping me with today's list, taking a break from telling you your favorite childhood character is not a hero, we have the grill master himself, NicoBBQ.
I'm sure half of these guys in this list are not even heroes anyways. But hey, what's up everyone? It's a shame that some of these guys have been forgotten, cause they're really kinda cool. Just a heads up. Since it's hard to say which character is more forgotten than another, this list will be ranked in no particular order.
And like I briefly mentioned, Nico and I are pleased to announce Minus World. I will be releasing a video later today with more information, so stay tuned and get hyped. Once it's uploaded, you can click on the card right here to check it out. And with all of that said, let's dive into the world of forgotten Mario characters. The first baby character that was introduced to us was Baby Mario in Super Mario World 2: Yoshi's Island. Since then, we have also gotten to see and play as many other baby versions of iconic characters. This baby craze came to a head in Mario Kart 8, in which a total of 5 baby characters were playable. This included Baby Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, and even Baby Rosalina. Many fans saw this as a cheap way to just fill the driver roster count for the game. There is, however, a character that so far has only had one baby appearance. Everyone's favorite garlic chomper, Wario. Baby Wario makes his sole appearance in the Nintendo DS gem, Yoshi's Island DS. It seems Wario must have greediness ingrained in his DNA. As a toddler, to quench his lust for money and treasure, Wario carries around a large magnet that's almost as big as he is.
This magnet can move metal boxes, raise metal platforms, and of course attract coins. The way you find Baby Wario in this game is pretty funny too. Baby Wario was initially captured by some toadies, but after a while the toadies couldn't stand his annoying crying any longer. So they just ditched him in the game world 3-5.
After joining up with Yoshi, Wario helps out for a little bit, but being the greedy guy he is, he soon leaves him for a group of bandits in search of more riches. Since the release of Yoshi's Island DS, there basically has been no mention of Baby Wario whatsoever. And in fact, he is the only baby character to not even have an existing 3D render.
I seriously question why they would decide to include Baby Daisy and Pink Gold Peach as characters and not Baby Wario.
Baby Donkey Kong is also featured in this game, and aside from an appearance in Super Mario Sluggers, he has also been basically forgotten. But who really cares about Donkey Kong anyway? Donkey Kong is a classic and very important character in Mario games, hailing all the way from the series' origins. Through the years, we have been introduced to many of DK's friends and relatives. If you ask people what their favorite Donkey Kong game is, many will usually point to one of the games in the Donkey Kong Country trilogy for the Super Nintendo. I, however, by far think Donkey Kong 64 is the best Donkey Kong game out there, and conveniently it also introduced the most of Donkey Kong's cohort in a single game. Coming in at the number 7 spot on this list as a bundle are a few of the Kongs introduced in DK64. On top of Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, who have already become established characters, the game also introduced Tiny, Lanky, and Chunky Kong. Each Kong had different moves and a different personality, matched by their gun and instrument of choice. The 5 Kongs are eloquently established in the intro DK rap, and they are a central feature of the game.
Judging by their character design and importance, I at least think that they were initially planned to have become part of a recurring cast in the series. Tiny and Lanky both had small appearances in other games like Donkey Kong Barrel Blast, and Tiny made other appearances in Super Mario Sluggers and Diddy Kong Racing DS. Since then, both haven't seen any action at all, really.
I guess it might have been partly due to Lanky having no style, no grace, and a funny face. But hey, those small other appearances were more than my favorite Kong, Chunky, ever got, who outside of DK64 and some super small GBA minigames has basically been cast aside by Nintendo. I'm guessing one of the biggest reasons these Kongs haven't been used much stems from how Rareware, the at the time second party developer for Nintendo, was sold and bought out by Microsoft. That being said, DK64 was quite recently released on the Wii U Virtual Console, so who knows? All I know is that I want Chunky to play as Triangle for us at least one more time. At number 6 on this list is Tatanga the Mysterious Spaceman. Or at least I think that's how you pronounce it. What do you think, Nico?
Yep, that's as good as I got. Tatanga is a major villain in the Game Boy launch title Super Mario Land. He is an alien who comes down and invades Sarasa Land, and in the process also kidnaps Princess Daisy in hopes of making her his queen. It's interesting to note that Tatanga is the first alien villain to appear in the Mario franchise, and as you'd expect, he's the final boss in Super Mario Land, and Mario must battle him in his airplane.
Tatanga also makes an appearance in the sequel, Super Mario Land 2: 6 Golden Coins, though it isn't as significant. As we later find out in Super Mario Land 2, while the events of the first game are taking place, Wario takes over Mario's castle. After his defeat in the first game, Tatanga flies to Wario's new castle, and Wario entrusts him in protecting one of the 6 golden coins of the Space Zone. After defeating Tatanga for the second time, he hasn't appeared in any Mario game since. He is, however, briefly referenced in Daisy's bios in Mario Superstar Baseball and Super Smash Bros. Will we ever see this mysterious monster from space again? Well, it's been almost 26 years since we have, so I hope you aren't holding your breath.
Another main antagonist, which I'm sure many of you expected to be on this list, is Wart. Wart is the main antagonist in the Western version of Super Mario Bros. 2 for the NES, and similar to Tatanga, after appearing in his first game, he hasn't really had much of a role since. Although first introduced as Mamu in Doki Doki Panic, Wart made his debut in the West when the game was remade as Super Mario Bros. 2.
Wart is the leader of a gang known in the series as the 8 Bits, which consists of the game's bosses like Birdo and Mauser, as well as the rest of the game's minor enemies. He is said to have created several monsters by playing with the Dream Machine that you get to see in the final battle. Sure, Wart has made some appearances in the Super Nintendo and Game Boy Advance remakes of Super Mario Bros. 2, but I wouldn't really count remakes as significant new appearances. Wart did, however, make an appearance several years later, only this time it was in the Legend of Zelda series. In The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, Wart reassumes his original Japanese name, Mamu, and instead of being an antagonist like he was in the Mario series, he instead helps Link on his quest by teaching him the Frog's Song of Soul on the Ocarina. Since then, Wart hasn't made any physical appearances in a game, but has been referenced a few times as recently as in Paper Mario Color Splash for the Wii U, where a Toad mentions that he saw Wart in a dream. Bowser has been used as the main antagonist in Mario games since the earliest days and in almost every game. I honestly wish they would give another antagonist, like Wart or Princess Shroob, another go at stopping Mario, even if just to shake things up from the norm that by now we've all kind of come to expect. Okay, so we've talked a lot about forgotten antagonists, but how about a forgotten playable protagonist? Yup, there is a protagonist in a Mario game that has only been seen once and only in Japan, and her name is Wanda.
Wanda is a fairy that the player controls in the Japan-only game Mario and Wario. She is a resident fairy of a mythical forest and helps Mario, Peach, and Yoshi after Mario is attacked by Wario in her domain. Besides Princess Peach in Super Mario Bros. 2, I guess you could say she is the first female main protagonist in a Mario series game.
In the game, since Peach, Mario, and Yoshi all have barrels and stuff dropped on their heads by Wario, and they for some reason can't just take them off and not walk for a bit, it's up to Wanda to create a safe path for the blinded heroes to their destination. During bonus minigames, Wanda would also use her hammer and hit Wario's plane to steal some coins. Mario and Wario is her only in-game appearance, so she technically doesn't even have an official Western appearance. It appears that Mario and Wario was slated to be localized for North America, as there is an article about the game in the September 1993 issue of Nintendo Power. There was also evidence of a North American version of the box for the game, seen on the back of select Kellogg's cereal in Canada for a contest in which you had to spell Nintendo in order to win a prize. Voir le résumé de règles du concours sur le panneau latéral. Détail complet imprimé à l'intérieur du paquet. How was that, Nico?
C'était très mauvais, mon ami.
Ha, thanks. Hey, wait a sec. Hey, do you guys remember Kate? Alex? Nina? How about Maple? Maybe you remember Plum or Charlie? Harry? Harry 2? Well, even if you do, chances are you probably never really decided to play as them in the games you could anyway. These human characters always stood out to me because they never seemed to really fit in the Mario universe. I guess now with the Metro Kingdom in Super Mario Odyssey it makes a little bit more sense, but for me back in '99, it just felt strange seeing a normally proportioned human and a Yoshi on the same screen. I use normally proportioned loosely, by the way. I've always wondered why these human characters were included in these Mario games, and I've personally never even seen anyone ever choose to play as them.
Excuse me dude, I'll have you know that I'm a Plum main in Mario Golf, okay? My thought is that maybe Mario Golf and Mario Tennis were originally planned to be normal tennis and golf games with regular people, but in order to generate more hype, more sales and more monies, they were eventually decided to be made into Mario games.
These generic humans were probably just decided to be left in case you get Grandpa to play with you and he doesn't want to play as no strange lanky hooligan. The characters from Mario Tennis also made an appearance with other humans in Mario Tennis Power Tour for the Game Boy Advance in 2005, but they haven't been notably seen in a game since, probably because they have been since replaced by Miis. The human characters didn't make an appearance in the 2015 smash hit Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, but who knows, maybe they'll serve up another ace in Mario Tennis Aces, which is slated to come out soon for the Nintendo Switch. Coming up at number 2 is one of the most famous forgotten characters. Did that even make sense? Gino. Gino is one of Mario's obtainable partners in Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars for the Super Nintendo. In the game, he mentions that his real name is actually Heart, quarter note, exclamation mark, question mark, but that it is too difficult to pronounce, so to just call him Gino. Since his appearance in this game, he has amassed a sort of cult following of fans. I especially remember before the release of Super Smash Bros. Brawl, there was a lot of demand for his and other characters like Ridley's inclusion in the game, and ultimately disappointment when they weren't included.
Dear Masahiro Sakurai, fuck you.
Gino eventually did make it into Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS and Wii U, but unfortunately just as a Mii Fighter costume rather than an actual playable character. Gino also made a small cameo appearance in Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, but oddly enough, this cameo was replaced in the recent remake for the 3DS, ultimately showing Nintendo driving another nail into his proverbial coffin.
I'm guessing, similarly to the Donkey Kong 64 situation mentioned earlier, since Super Mario RPG was developed by Squaresoft, which merged into what is now known as Square Enix, there is likely more legal gray area with the intellectual property rights on Gino. With that being said, if his costume could make it into Super Smash Bros., anything could be on the table for a future appearance.
And ending this list off are the Koopa Kids. Now there are so many different names for smaller Bowsers in the games, I still have a hard time keeping track of who's who and what their name is. So there are the Koopa Kids or Mini Bowsers in the PAL region, also known as Baby Bowsers in the first 3 Mario parties, and then there's Baby Bowser, not to be confused with Bowser Jr., Kid Koopa, and the Koopa Kids, which the Koopalings are occasionally referred to as. See what I mean? Anyway, to set the record straight here, the Koopa Kids who I deem forgotten are the Bowser minions that have only appeared in the Mario Party series.
And since there are minigames featuring a large number of them, it is likely that they're not even related to Bowser, but simply just young versions of whatever species Bowser is. In the Nintendo 64 Mario Party games, the Koopa Kids did everything from stealing stars to running their own item shops.
They would also sometimes appear in some minigames, usually as something you don't want to aim for. Later on in Mario Party 5 and 6, you could actually choose to play as a Koopa Kid. In Mario Party 7, Koopa Kid's role was reduced to just having his own orb, and finally in Mario Party 8 and onwards, he was seemingly replaced by Bowser Jr. Why this happened after so many years, I'm not really sure, but I guess the developers at Nintendo figured Bowser Jr. was a character they should be pushing more. Even in the more recent Mario Party The Top 100 game for the 3DS, the remastering of the minigame The Final Battle for Mario Party 4 now had Bowser Jr. replacing the Koopa Kid who was originally there. Just like replacing Gino, yet another example of Nintendo trying to rewrite history and make us forget about the Koopa Kids forever.
Hey, at least their memory will always be preserved in the older and better Mario Party games of days past.
And with that concludes this list of 8 Mario characters forgotten by Nintendo, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. A special thanks again to Nico for helping out with this video. Be sure to check out his Top 10 Kingdoms in Super Mario Odyssey video that I also helped him out over on his channel by clicking on one of the end card links.
Thanks a lot for having me on, and I hope to see you guys there.
If you guys are new to this channel and enjoyed the video, please be sure to click on the card right here for some more awesome Mario videos. And if you would like to stay even more up to date with me and the channel, please be sure to subscribe and consider following me on other social media sites such as Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, as well as joining my Discord server, which will all be linked in the description below. And again, look forward to a huge announcement video coming later today. As always guys, thank you all so much for watching today and for all of your amazing support, and I will see you in a bit.
I will see you in a bit. Yeah.